chosen ones. Welcome back. The light has brought you back to us once more. I carry an urgent and sacred message today, and this message is not for everyone. If you are not walking the divine path, if your heart is not aligned with truth, obedience, and spiritual discipline, this video will feel uncomfortable. You might feel restless. You might feel challenged, but if you are a true follower, if you are one of the chosen, understand this clearly. This message has reached you at the exact moment heaven intended. Not a day early, not a day late, right on time. God is warning you for 2026, and this warning is serious. There are certain things about your life, your calling, your plans, and your spiritual experiences that must never be revealed carelessly. Not to friends who seem supportive, not to family who think they know you best, not even to people who claim to love you deeply. What you reveal too early can be delayed, distorted, or destroyed. The spiritual realm responds to words, and not all spirits wish you well. I need you to stay with me until the very end, because what I am about to share may protect years of your destiny. Many chosen ones have fallen, not because they were weak, but simply because they spoke when God asked them to stay silent. They shared their vision before it had roots. They celebrated their calling before it had form, and the enemy used their own words against them. Before we continue, if this already resonates deep within your spirit, take a moment to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Tap that bell so you never miss a message meant for you, and comment 777 below to declare that you are aligned with divine timing and ready to walk wisely into 2026. That number is not random, it is a spiritual marker. Let it be your declaration today. Let me settle your spirit first. If you have ever wondered why your life felt harder than others, why you never quite fit in, why your path seemed delayed or misunderstood, this is why God has always worked this way. He does not choose the loudest voice in the room. He does not choose the proudest heart or the most celebrated talent. He chooses the ones the world ignores. He chooses the ones shaped in silence, refined in obscurity. Look at the pattern throughout Scripture. Moses was not confident. He questioned God repeatedly. He felt unqualified for the mission God assigned him. Elijah carried tremendous power, yet also battled deep exhaustion and moments where he wanted to give up entirely. David was not even invited to the table when the prophet came looking for a king. His own father forgot about him while his brothers stood in the spotlight. That is not coincidence. That is divine strategy. God hides his greatest instruments in plain sight until the right moment arrives. And you, chosen one, have been hidden for a reason. Not because you were forgotten, but because God was protecting what he was building in you. God chooses unlikely vessels because pride cannot survive the process he requires. If you had everything easy, if success came without struggle, you would rely on yourself. But God needed you to rely completely on him. He needed you to know what brokenness feels like, so you could recognize true healing. He needed you to experience rejection, so you could carry genuine compassion. He needed you to walk through valleys, so you would never forget who brought you through. You were shaped, not punished. Every hard season had purpose. Every closed door was protection. Every delay was preparation. Nothing was wasted. Many chosen ones struggle with self-doubt, and if that is you, hear me clearly. That doubt is not weakness. It is evidence that your heart is still teachable. The arrogant believe they are ready. The proud assume they have arrived. But the chosen ones know they have not. And that is exactly why God can trust them. You question yourself because you fear misrepresenting God. That fear is holy. Being overlooked did not mean you were unqualified. It meant you were being preserved. God did not expose you too early, because exposure without preparation destroys people. You were protected while others were promoted. You were trained in private while others were celebrated in public. Now you are beginning to understand why. Chosen ones are often misunderstood because they see things others miss. You have always felt things that others ignored. You noticed patterns where others saw randomness. You sensed motives beneath surface words. You felt spiritual heaviness in places where others felt comfortable. That awareness felt like a burden when you were young, but it is a gift. God gave you spiritual sensitivity early because you would need it later. That sensitivity is why crowds drain your energy, why noise exhausts you, why shallow conversations feel heavy. You are not antisocial, you are discerning. Your spirit filters more than most people can handle, and God knew that. That is why He trained you in solitude. Being chosen does not mean being perfect. Moses struggled with anger. Elijah battled fear. David made mistakes. God did not remove his calling because of their humanity. He worked through it. The calling is not fragile. It is anchored in grace. You may have felt different since childhood. You may have asked questions others did not care about. You may have felt drawn to spiritual things without understanding why. That pull was not imagination. That was recognition. Your spirit was recognizing its source before your mind could explain it. Many chosen ones grow up feeling like outsiders, even within their own families. Not because they are unloved, but because they are wired differently. Your values do not match the mainstream. Your tolerance for injustice is lower. Your hunger for truth is stronger. God placed you there to observe and learn, not to blend in. Chosen ones are not raised to fit comfortably into existing systems. They are raised to confront those systems. That is why comfort was never your primary teacher. Pressure taught you. Silence taught you. Waiting taught you. God allowed lessons. Others never had to learn because others were not assigned your role. There were seasons when you felt forgotten, times when prayers seemed unanswered, moments when you wondered if God skipped you. He did not. He was building depth while others learned how to perform. You learned how to endure. And endurance is rare. Your difficult background did not disqualify you. It qualified you. Your struggles did not delay you. They prepared you. Your isolation did not weaken you. It sharpened you. God was not absent. He was intentional. You were never behind. You were being aligned. Now let me tell you why silence is absolutely critical to protecting what God is building in you. The enemy does not primarily fear what you already know. He fears what you will become. He fears the fullness of your potential. He fears you walking completely in your calling. And one of the fastest, most effective ways to sabotage your future is to announce it prematurely before its appointed time. Every word you speak about your vision, your assignment, your spiritual progress, your plans releases energy into the spiritual realm. Words carry weight. Words create atmosphere. Words open doors. And here is what most people do not realize. Not all spirits listening are friendly. Not all ears hearing you are rooting for your success. Some are threatened by it. Some will oppose it. Some will actively work against it, even if they smile to your face. When you share too much too soon, you expose your seed before it has developed strong roots. Think about a seed planted in soil. In those early days, it is vulnerable. It needs protection. It needs darkness. It needs time to establish itself underground before it can break through to the surface. If you dig it up too early to show people, you damage it, you interrupt the process. The same is true spiritually. People who are not spiritually mature enough to understand what God is doing in you will judge it. They will criticize it. They will apply their limited perspective to your unlimited calling. People who feel threatened by your growth will resist it, sometimes without even realizing why. They will speak doubt. They will highlight risks. They will remind you of past failures. Even people who genuinely love you may unintentionally speak against what God is building because they cannot see what He sees. Their limitations become weights on your faith. Their fear becomes interference in your focus. This is not about being secretive for the sake of secrecy. This is not about being paranoid or isolating yourself completely. This is about being strategic. Silence protects what is still forming. Silence guards what is not yet strong enough to withstand public scrutiny. Silence keeps your assignment safe from premature opposition. Joseph is the perfect biblical example of this principle. He made the mistake of sharing his dream with his brothers. His vision was real. His destiny was certain, but his timing was completely off. He shared it before he was ready. He shared it with people who were not ready. And what happened? His own brothers sold him into slavery. They could not handle his future. They could not celebrate his calling. His words became the very weapon used against him. Years of hardship followed that premature revelation. Joseph had to endure false accusation, imprisonment, and abandonment. All of this could have been avoided if he had simply waited for the right time. Yet even in that painful lesson, God was still faithful. What the enemy meant for evil, God used for good. But the process was much harder than it needed to be. Sometimes God gives you vision not to announce publicly, but to anchor you privately during the difficult journey ahead. That dream, that calling, that promise is meant to strengthen you when external circumstances seem to contradict everything He told you. It is meant to keep you steady when people misunderstand your choices. It is meant to sustain your faith when logic says to give up. It is fuel for your private endurance, not content for your public platform. Sometimes God gives you vision not to announce publicly, but to anchor you privately during the difficult process. That dream, that calling, that promise is meant to strengthen you when everything around you seems to contradict it. It is meant to keep you steady when circumstances try to discourage you. It is fuel for your faith, not content for your social media. When you stay silent about what God is doing, you stay protected from unnecessary spiritual warfare. Your gift develops without constant outside interference. Your character matures without the pressure of performance and reputation management. Your assignment unfolds naturally without premature opposition from people who were never meant to understand it at this stage anyway. Silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. Silence is strength. There are things happening in your spiritual life right now that people would completely misinterpret if you shared them openly. Encounters with God that sound too unusual for religious people to accept. Transitions that look reckless or foolish from an outside perspective. Convictions that feel radical to those still comfortable in old patterns and traditions. Instructions from God that do not make logical sense yet. Not everyone has the spiritual maturity or the discernment to honor what God is doing in you during these seasons. Protect it carefully, guard it intentionally. Keep it covered until it is strong enough to stand on its own. I want to pause here and say this. If you are sensing this truth resonating deeply in your spirit right now, if you feel like this message is speaking directly to something you have been wrestling with, take a moment and share this video with another chosen one who needs to hear it. Someone came to mind just now, share it with them. And if you have not yet commented, go ahead and type 777 below. Let that be a marker for this moment. Sometimes, making a public declaration of private truth strengthens the discipline you need moving forward. Your comment might also encourage someone else who is silently watching and needs confirmation they are not alone in this journey. Let me give you 3 clear, unmistakable signs that you walk in this lineage, that you carry this calling. These are not vague descriptions. These are specific markers you can identify in your own journey. The first sign is that you have experienced prolonged seasons of waiting that seem to serve no purpose. Not just brief delays or minor setbacks, but waiting that felt unbearable at times. Waiting that made absolutely no logical sense. Waiting that tested every ounce of your sanity and every fiber of your faith. Waiting that made you question if God forgot about you, if you misunderstood his promises, if maybe you were never meant for what you thought. But here is what you need to understand. That waiting was not punishment for something you did wrong. That waiting was preparation for something you are called to. Moses waited 40 long years in the wilderness, tending sheep before his real assignment even began. 40 years. That is half a lifetime for many people. David was anointed as king when he was just a boy, but he did not actually wear the crown until he was a full-grown man. Years passed, battles were fought. Betrayals happened. He ran for his life. He hid in caves, all while carrying the promise of kingship. God stretches time intentionally to build capacity in you. He expands the waiting to develop the strength you will desperately need later. If you can endure the weight of the wait, you can handle the weight of what is coming. The wait is not wasted. The wait is working for you, not against you. The second sign is an unusual level of spiritual sensitivity that others around you do not seem to possess. You feel things before they happen. You sense shifts in the atmosphere of a room before anything is said. You discern motives underneath the surface of people's words. You know when something is off, even when it looks perfectly fine on the outside. You pick up on spiritual climates that others walk right through without noticing. That sensitivity can feel overwhelming, especially when you are young and have not learned how to manage it yet. It can feel like a curse. You absorb emotions from rooms full of people. You feel drained after being in crowds. You need recovery time after social interactions. You have always been this way, and you probably thought something was wrong with you. But it is a gift. God gave you spiritual radar, spiritual discernment, spiritual sensitivity, because you would absolutely need it to navigate what is ahead of you. The assignments you will carry require you to see what others miss, to sense what others ignore, to discern what others overlook. You are not paranoid. You are not overthinking. You are not too sensitive. You are perceptive. You are discerning. Trust that inner knowing. It has already saved you more times than you even realize. It has kept you out of wrong relationships, bad decisions, dangerous situations. Honor it, develop it, steward it well. The third sign is an increasing, growing desire for alignment over approval. There was a time when you cared deeply, perhaps too deeply, about what people thought of you. You bent yourself trying to fit into expectations that were never meant for you. You performed to please others. You modified your personality to gain acceptance. You dimmed your light to avoid making others uncomfortable. You said yes when you meant no. You smiled when you wanted to cry. You stayed in places and relationships that no longer served your growth because you feared disappointing people. But something has shifted inside you recently. You can feel it. The change is undeniable. Now you would rather lose the crowd than lose yourself. You would rather be misunderstood by many than be fake with anyone. You would rather walk alone in truth than walk with a group in compromise. You no longer negotiate your convictions for temporary comfort. You no longer silence your voice to keep others at ease. That shift is not you becoming cold, harsh, or uncaring. That shift is evidence of spiritual maturity breaking through. It means you are no longer willing to betray your integrity for temporary acceptance. It means you value God's approval infinitely more than human applause. That kind of internal strength is rare in this generation. That kind of conviction is a clear sign of readiness for what God is preparing. If these three signs reflect your journey, if you recognize yourself in this description, you are not imagining this calling, you are not manufacturing identity out of thin air, you are not forcing meaning onto random circumstances. You are responding to genuine activation. This lineage does not announce itself with loud trumpets and bright lights. It reveals itself quietly through fruit, through peace that defies circumstances, through discernment that sees truth, through alignment that chooses obedience over convenience. You are not becoming someone else. You are finally becoming who you were always meant to be. And this is only the beginning. Now let me give you practical guidance so you can walk this path powerfully without burning out. This calling is demanding, but it is not meant to destroy you. God never intended your assignment to cost you your peace, your health, or your identity. Many strong spirits burn out not from doing evil, but from doing too much without wisdom. They burn out from carrying loads God never asked them to carry, from saying yes when God said wait, from hustling when God said rest. Let me say this clearly. Hustle is not holy. Exhaustion is not proof of obedience. God does not measure faithfulness by how drained you are. He measures it by alignment. If you are constantly depleted, something is out of order. Not in your calling, but in how you are carrying it. You must accept this. You are not the source. You are the vessel. When you try to become the source yourself, you will burn out. Moses learned this. Elijah learned this. David learned this. Now you are learning it too. Rest is not laziness. Rest is obedience. God built rest into creation because He knows your limits. When you rest, you are not stepping away from purpose. You are preserving it. Some of you feel guilty when you slow down. Release that guilt. It does not come from God. Another key is learning to say no without explanation. Chosen ones often overextend because they feel responsible for everyone. But responsibility without boundaries becomes resentment. God did not call you to be accessible to everyone. He called you to be obedient to Him. You must also learn to move at God's pace, not your emotions. When excitement leads, mistakes follow. When pressure leads, confusion follows. But when obedience leads, peace remains, stillness sharpens discernment. It allows God to correct course before damage is done. Stay in genuine humility, remembering that being chosen does not mean you are above correction. God corrects those He trusts. When conviction comes, respond quickly. Delayed obedience creates unnecessary struggle. Protect your inner life. What you watch, what you listen to, who you allow access to your emotions. It all matters. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves influence. Let go of comparison. Your assignment is unique. Your timing is intentional. Looking sideways will only distract you. Focus forward. God reveals your next step, not the entire path. Because trust grows in movement. You are allowed to enjoy life. Joy does not dilute calling. Laughter does not offend God. Beauty, rest, connection. These things refill you. A joyful spirit is a strong spirit. If you stumble, do not spiral. Repentance realigns faster than perfection ever could. God is not shocked by your humanity. He is committed to your growth. Finally, stay anchored in relationship with God. Not just in your role, you are His child before you are His servant. When identity comes first, calling stays healthy. This path is demanding but not destructive. God does not call you to lose yourself. He calls you to become yourself, whole and aligned. Take a deep breath right now and let this truth settle into the deepest parts of your spirit. You are not imagining this calling. You are not making this up. You are not forcing spiritual meaning onto random life circumstances to make yourself feel special. You are not late to your purpose. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not confused beyond God's ability to guide you. You are genuinely, authentically responding to something ancient, something intentional, something divinely placed within you before you were even born. You walk in a sacred line that stretches back through history. Moses carried authority to confront systems and lead people out of bondage. Elijah carried truth to speak to power and call down heaven's fire. David carried intimacy with God that produced worship, warfare, and kingdom building. And you, chosen one, you carry a unique measure of all three for this specific time. In this specific world, in this specific generation. The blend is unique to you. The expression will look different than theirs. But the lineage is unmistakable. You were never meant to fit in with the crowd. You were never designed to blend seamlessly into the systems around you. You were meant to stand firm when others compromise. You were meant to speak truth when others stay silent. You were meant to hold the line when others retreat. You were never meant to rush frantically toward a destination. You were meant to align patiently with divine timing, trusting that every season serves a purpose. Everything you have endured up to this point shaped you. It did not shatter you. The pain refined you. It did not disqualify you. Every delay you experienced refined something in you that needed refining. Every closed door protected you from something that would have harmed you. Every quiet season when nothing seemed to be happening was actually preparing you for what is now beginning to unfold. God does not waste pain. He does not misplace His chosen ones. He does not awaken you to purpose without intention, and He certainly does not bring you this far to abandon you now. If this message resonated deeply with you, if you feel like these words were written specifically for your situation, it is because your spirit recognized its own reflection in this truth. This message did not reach you by accident or algorithm alone. It reached you because you were ready to hear it, because you needed to hear it, because God knew this was the right moment for these words to find you. Remember this as you move forward from here. You are protected by God Himself. You are guided by His Spirit. You are not walking this path alone, even when it feels lonely, even when no one around you understands, even when you cannot explain it to others. He is with you. His presence goes before you. His favor surrounds you. His angels guard you. His purposes will be fulfilled through you. You are not required to have everything figured out today. You do not need to see the entire path mapped out in front of you. You do not need to understand every detail of how this will all work out. You just need to stay obedient to what He shows you today. Stay humble enough to receive correction. Stay grounded enough to avoid distraction. Stay focused enough to keep moving forward. God will handle everything else. He always has. He always will. Before you go, I want to ask you to do something. If this message genuinely confirmed what God has already been stirring in your heart, if it put words to something you have been feeling but could not articulate, then like this video. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss future messages meant for you. Share it with other chosen ones in your life who need this same clarity and confirmation. You know who they are. Someone came to mind while you were watching this, send it to them. And one more time, comment 777 below, not as some superstitious ritual, but as a simple declaration, a marker, a moment where you say yes to accepting your calling, yes to trusting divine timing even when it is confusing, and yes to staying aligned with the path God has set before you. Your comment also serves as encouragement to others watching silently who need to know they are not alone in this. Walk forward in peace, not the absence of problems, but the presence of God in the middle of them. Walk in purpose, not performing for applause, but obedient to assignment. God is with you every single step. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of what He wants to do in you and through you. Stay faithful, stay focused, stay aligned. The best is still ahead together. We rise toward the light,